Verse 284 of Surat al-Baqarah. To Allah belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth. Whether you show what is within yourselves or conceal it, Allah will bring you to account for it. Then He will forgive whom He wills and punish whom He wills, and Allah is over all things competent. Interpretation of verse 284 of Surah al-Baqarah. The verse begins with the name of God, to God, meaning limitation and restriction. Everything in existence is in God's hand, and no one owns anything, everything is perishable. Even man, whom God made a vicegerent and made the earth a place of residence and dominion, had only his time remaining on this earth. I will give an example to clarify. Before we give an example, we must know that examples in this world are given to us through tangible things to illustrate the unseen. Any example is understood to be incomparable. We do not compare God to anything in this world. Let us take the example of an employee who has worked for a company for 20 years. The company entrusts him with its collateral, sometimes a car, sometimes an apartment near his workplace, or equipment. After his specified term with the company expires, he must hand over this collateral to his successor, and he must hand it over as it was before, without any loss. This applies to anyone who owns real estate, land, or other property. In this world, we fulfill our mission, which is to please God and His Messenger. Then we hand over the trust. We must surrender it without causing destruction or sin, because we will be held accountable for our humanity and actions. God Almighty is the owner of the heavens and the earth. If people feel they have purchased this land or these properties, they can live freely in this world. God has set guidelines and a methodology that must be followed. If a person chooses God's path, follows His commands, and avoids His prohibitions, and dies at the end of his life and meets God, he will own nothing but his deeds. It is as if this wealth is a temporary trust from God, entrusted to an individual or company. This trust continues until it reaches its origin and is handed over to its creator. Will a person dispose of his wealth in a manner that pleases God or not? We are on God's earth, and He knows the treachery of the eyes and what the hearts conceal. Therefore, God Almighty warns us to be aware of our actions. He knows what we reveal and what we conceal within ourselves, and He will hold us accountable for them. He is able to forgive whomever He wills and punish whomever He wills. Interpretation of verse 285 of Surat al-Baqarah. The Holy Quran explains to us that God Almighty, who created the heavens and the earth, and is capable of all things, testified that there is no God but Him. God Almighty gathered both the Messenger and the believers in one faith, which is belief in God Almighty. This is natural, because the Messenger, may God bless him and grant him peace, believed in God first, and he testified that Muhammad is the Messenger of God, may God bless him and grant him peace. After that, the Messenger, may God bless him and grant him peace, conveyed his message to us, and we, the believers, believed in God. Thus, the formation of faith is complete, and everyone testifies that there is no God but God and that Muhammad is the messenger of God. The believers all believe in God, His angels, His books, and His messengers, and they all believe in all the messengers, and do not disbelieve in any of the messengers. They listen to the commands of God and His messenger, obeyed God Almighty's commands, avoided His prohibitions, and sought forgiveness from God, knowing that their destiny was to return to God Almighty.